Okay, we have some new students here. So we have Juan and Ajaya. Okay, and who's new here? Okay, so have you read my syllabus? Okay, have you done anything yet? Okay, so this is the second week, so it's not too late for you, but try. Don't fall behind. Oh, thank you. Okay, so insofar, one thing I want to make comment is that, please, who are senior here? Senior, junior, oh, about freshman, only one. Only freshman. So most of you know how to write a paper. And have you read my comments? Please cite the source. It's so important, right? When you write something, you cite the source that you read about. Otherwise, people may yes.
Do we have to do that for reading responses?
Yeah. Not for every response.
Because for those, all I use is the textbook.
That's okay. Just cite the source. That's all. And remember, I told you beside this book, this primary books that you have to read first. And if you could not find information that I put the questions, just find more. Just read more all the information that I put online, the file in the file folders. There's plenty of information there, but please cite the source. Otherwise, I don't know where you get this. And sometimes some students wrote something. Of course, their opinions, but I need to know, and so I may correct it. Otherwise, I don't know. I don't have any ways to correct them. Okay. Any question about your writing? It's not much, right? Only more than 300. Most of you have no problems. Any questions? Okay, so far this okay, right? So we have some. Okay, now let me discuss briefly about number 8, 9, and 10 that we left last time, right? We didn't have much time last time, and of course today we talk about number 2 too. So number 8. Last time who did number 8? All right. Can you say something about number 8?
Sure. If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Describe how a young mate offered food
Right.
for the Siddhartha.
Right. So he, Siddhartha was kind of practicing in physical asceticism,
Yes.
depriving himself of food, water, sort of thing, for about 6 years or so. And after a while, he felt that because he was about to starve to death, that it would be pointless to die before reaching enlightenment, because then he would just be reincarnated again and again. So he decided to kind of break the cycle of physical asceticism a little bit and get some food in his system. So there's a young maid named, I think it's Sujata, offered him a meal of milk rice, and he accepted it. And after that, his five of his main students actually left him because they felt like he broke the vow. And so he was forced to go off and try to find enlightenment on his own, which he ended up doing.
Thank you. You born in Nepal? You born in Nepal, right? Nepal. Also, where is that? Is it nearby Lumbini? Or can you tell the class what's Lumbini about? You know, we discussed about Lumbini, right? Where the Buddha was born, so she came from that era. It's so blessed.
Not really Lumbini. I'm from the capital.
What to call? Kathmandu. Okay, yeah. So you visited Lumbini before?
No, I was going to, but I didn't get the chance to. Yeah.
So you in Nepal you exposed to many Buddhist communities, right?
Yes, we have a lot. We have our people. We are both like Hinduism. We also believe in Buddhism.
Listen, this has happened in most of or all of the Buddhist country, when Buddhism spread to any country, it's adapt to local traditions. Like when it spread to China, adapt to Taoism, Confucianism. When it went to Japan, it adapt to Shintoism, and so forth. And that's why it's blend together with the local traditions mutually and in mutual way. Okay, so let me go back again. Have you seen this kind of pictures, image that the Buddha was starting? Have you seen that before? Not yet. Okay, is there some image, some even statue that's depict how he starved himself for 6 years, right? But later on he gave up and recognized that the two extremes, right? One extreme is indulge himself in the luxury life, right? Another extreme is to torture himself. So that's why he gave up that practice. And the girl, that's Sujuta, who gave him the rice for him to consume to get back his health. Or number 9, who does number 9? Who did number 9 last time? Remember? Yes. Okay. Can you say? Can you say about number 9 last time?
It was describe the determination for spiritual enlightenment.
Yes.
Siddhartha.
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
What I got was that from the very beginning, ever since he was born, he was determined to achieve enlightenment, and nothing could keep him from that. Not even the birth of his own son, and even when everyone left them behind, that gave him more time and peace to just meditate and achieve, ultimately achieve enlightenment.
One thing I forgot to mention is that on the way, he went to the forest to practice. He met a king in Minsara. Later on, he would be one of the Buddha's supporters. And the king offered him, if you stay back, I offer you half of my country. Did you read that part? No. And if you were a prince, would you stay back and took that? No way. He gave up everything, right? So how could he agreed to take the other half from different king? So he gave up that too. And of course, later on, when he went back, he taught that king, and that king became one of his royal supporters. And okay, here. So this is the right, and he made the vows before, after he took that new right, and he put his bowl on water and made the vows that if this bowl right upstream, I would be successful, and somehow miraculously, this bowl float upstream, and that's what his determination. He said for how long he sat for under that Buddha tree, you know how long?
49 days.
49 days straight. I used to tell my students that, can you sit for 49 minutes? That's okay, right? But not for the children. Of course, some of us have problems. We sit even 5 minutes, right? It's not easy for us to sit still. Because he had that strong, firm determination. And of course, according to tradition, some lay people offer him a straw kusha grass so that he could sit there. And he made that determinations, constrain his meditations. Okay, and Mara, you guys read that, right? Mara, he sent the 3 daughters to tempt him, and they did not success. So Mara tested him through all kind of weapons to him, and he resists all temptations. Mara, this is the pit Mara who want to stop. Actually, one thing is that when you sit there and do meditation, you play around with your thought a lot. Many people, they don't know how to do meditation. Who do meditation every day here? You do meditation? No. Any one of you? No. Meditation?
Not every day.
Not every day? How about once in a while? Alright, sometimes, okay. Well, some people, if they don't know how to do meditation, that's the problems. Can you tell briefly how you do meditation?
It's best to be in a very quiet place so that you can calm your mind and kind of let go of what's happening in the world, so that way you can just concentrate on just being present.
Yeah, in this class we talked briefly about the right mindfulness and right concentration. But last semester we talked the whole semester about meditation and mindfulness. But this is so important, especially for you guys. There's so much things for you concerned here, right? You need to let them go, otherwise it's stressful. Anyway, so he concentrates his mind. Of course, it's all kind of internal conflict within his mind plus external test of Mara. Okay, at the end, he's successful to stop all the kind of thought, and the Mara tempted him, and he called the mother of Earth to witness. In one of the writing, one student said that the mother of Earth to help him, but I say this is not the correct one. Yeah, so he called on the mother of Earth to witness. So that's the pictures here. What's your name, please?
Already, you already counted them.
Oh, I already counted? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so okay, so that is what after that he has what we call enlightenment. Now, one thing before I move on, what's meant by Buddha? What's the meaning of Buddha? Who can tell me? Yes?
The awoken one?
Awakened one? What's mean awakened one? What's mean? That's so important. When you walk out this class, when you finish this class, you have to know this kind of basic terminologies. And if someone approaches you and asks, what's the meaning of Buddha? And you have taken this class and you say, I'm sorry, I don't know. Don't blame on me. Yes?
You don't focus on material things?
Yeah, one way. Anyone? Anyone? Yes?
When you attain nirvana?
Nirvana? Yes. Yes. Anything else? It's so important. It's so important that you have to know this kind of basic terminology. And of course we talk about Nirvana later on too. But this part is in a practical way. Anyone?
Wisdom?
Wisdom? Okay. What else?
You're able to move past this life mentally because you have already understood everything that it presented.
Okay. Anyone? No?
Peaceful.
Huh? Peaceful? Okay. What else? Alright, let me summarize for you to understand, right? It's so simple. Buddha just means awakening. What's mean awakening? Like at night you go to sleep. In the morning you wake up. Simple, right? The Buddha wake up from illusion. Wake up from the dreams of illusions. Wake up from ignorance. That's what awakening is for. And in Buddhist view, everyone on earth, not only everyone on earth, every sentient beings. If you look at the dog and the cat, they're smart. Right? Even the pigs, right? Especially the pet, like the dog, right? They're so faithful, right? To us. And that's why in Buddhist view, every sentient being has that Buddha nature. And that's awakened nature, good nature, pure nature. And in a practical sense, when you do things that you know what you're doing, that means you are Buddha. But of course, sometimes we may know what we're doing, but sometimes we may not pay attention much. So what we call, we are a little Buddha. You understand? That means sometimes, let's say, like in this class, when you really pay attention to what I say, if you're really mindful of what I say, you know what I try to express. the meaning and so forth. That means you invoke or you live with your own Buddha nature, a pure nature, a goodness nature, or awakening nature. Make sense? But if, let's say, when we're talking, you have night daydreams, you think about this and that, and you get lost what I just said, and you don't know. That's mean you miss that. You understand that? So Buddha just means you know exactly what's around you, what's inside your body and mind, what's surrounding you. That's what Buddha means. And of course, in the pure way, in the impartial way. That's why in meditation we talk about when you do meditation in the correct way, in the proper way, you know exactly the things as the way they are. There's no manipulation. You don't need to add on. Let's say if you look at, let's say, if you look at this whiteboard, just apply the whiteboard. But if you analyze, oh, this is rectangular and so forth, it's good and bad and so forth. That means you twist around, you twist around these new pictures, image of this whiteboard. You understand that? So basically, the Buddha has been awakened one, a mindful one, in every step. And that's why we talk today, Buddha's number. What's the number? The Buddha life, the daily of Buddha, Buddha's not number. Yes, okay. You see how he mindful in every way so he does. Walking, standing, eating, and so forth. And that's why we follow Buddha footsteps to be mindful, to be awakening one, right? To be pure within ourselves. Is that clear now? Right? So of course, some of you mentioned, yes, Buddha is wise one or compassionate one. This is just the virtue, his virtues that we have ourselves too. But we, because of ignorance, because of anger, and anxiety, depression, and so forth, they cover that kind of wisdom. They cover that kind of purity. Okay, so that's the basic or practical meanings of Buddha. All right, let's move on to the next one, number 2. Okay, read number 2. So let's see now. Okay, so we just go over again. So he attained what we call final awakening, and he spent 7 weeks, according to the tradition, to walk around the trees to contemplate. And later on, actually, at first, he decided that he entered nirvana. Entered nirvana does mean there's no more rebirth. Let me put this way for you to understand. Let's say you have cell phone or laptop, right? Let's say your cell phone, somehow you drop your cell phone on the water, onto the water. It's gone, right? Would you give up? Would you decide that I don't want to use cell phone anymore, or you want to get another one? You want to get another one, right? That's what we call a cycle. When it's done, when you're done with this cell phone, when you're done with this laptop, you find another one. So there is our life. When we're done with this life, because that's kind of, it's not really, that's a type of habitual patterns. We want to have things that we have done. That's why this is called again a cycle. But for the Buddha, when he attained that type of enlightenment, or even the aura, the holy monks, they start of all kind of mental affliction, all kind of mental attachment, anxiety, and so forth. So that's why what we call the state of nirvana. Briefly, we'll talk to you later on too. So that's why he finished up all, and he would not come back in the form of human again, or in sixth realm of the birth, because there's no more attachment. But they can go in and out freely. We talk about that later on. Okay, so that's why I try to explain quickly. Okay, but later on, at first he decided he wanted to enter nirvana, but later on there's one God. He came down and asked him, request him to turn the Dhamma wheel. I mean to teach people. That's why he decided to teach later on. Okay, let's move on number 1 then. Who does number 1? Yes. Yes, can you start about his daily activities? How?
Well, follow a specific routine each day. It's divided into 5 parts. The first part is morning session, and then the afternoon session, and then after that is first, middle, and the last watch. He began his day with the morning session, waking up about 4 a.m. in the morning. After that, he would wash up and sit down, meditate for an hour. And then after an hour, he then took another hours and look around the world with his mental eyes to see if anyone need help. And at 6 a.m., he would put on his robe and either go beg or go help the needy. As he begged, he said here, as he begged for food, his eyes would fix to the ground and receive the food in silence. At times, he would go with his disciples in a single file line and beg for food. So often, people would invite him to their house and to have lunch and give his disciple and him discourse about that food maybe to go. And this activity would normally last until noon. That's his morning session. And after that is going to be the afternoon session. He will return to his room and rest for a bit. Then begin his afternoon session, which is when he go meet others, the people that are waiting for him, teaching them in the way that everyone felt that Buddha is teaching them separately as one-to-one. Once done with his afternoon session, that's when his first watch began. During this time, his follower would come to listen to and ask questions, clarifying about their doubts and anything in the world and even themselves. The first watch would last from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And after that, from 10 to 2, that's when the upper class would use this opportunity and also ask him and learn about the truth of life. And once the middle watch ended, he entered his final watch of the day, which is from 2 to 4, where he would just walk up and down meditating and freeing himself from sitting around all day. Then he'd just go to sleep for an hour. And many said, in fact, many said that he only sleep an hour each day during his 45 years of teaching. So, yeah.
You mentioned that you don't have Sunday or weekend off. That's hard, right? Do you have anything to say? To share?
I did this question wrong. I wrote about the wrong thing.
Oh really? Which one?
Sorry. I thought this question was asking about, like, after he reached enlightenment, like, what did he do?
That's why we discuss here. Anyway, thank you. Let us pray. You see that? Remember one thing, he doesn't sleep. We never wake in. He doesn't sleep anymore. Even the Arhat, even the Zen master, they don't sleep at all because they wake up. The reason why we sleep because we have so much activities in our mind and body, especially our mind. We think so much. That's why somehow we need to rest our brain at night. So actually the Buddha said, rest 1 hour per day, not sleeping. How about, I forgot, you know your number, right? Can you go together? Can you group together? Can you find use 5 minutes? Sorry, okay, let's go please. Can go with your number? Yeah, please. Can you call yourself? Thank you. That's was number 1.
I think that was 11.
Yeah. Thank you. And 5 minutes, please. You can go.
Okay, so which state?
11. Number 1.
Yeah.
this cloth sack, and he was like, and so it was just like this really happy guy, like, just look at me. Yes, he was cremated when he finally died, and that was a really cool thing because he watched Jesus get cremated and then turned up a bunch of fire. It's great when they cremate.
Yes, and I described like still rare. Most of the time,
I know some art, but I don't know.
so it's no problem, right?
Like I need to look.
Information on the website. It's like, it'll say like a file and it'll say like chapter 2 or something. And it's like, I think it's like 10 minutes.
It's all there. It's all there. Experiments are but it's really rewarding. You actually really
Okay, how about let's start number 2, okay? Who does number 2? Number 2, yes. That's okay, that's okay. Alright, now, describes the Buddha miracles. What are the miracles that the Buddha has?
Oh, we're starting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And number 2.
I don't know, it's kind of, it wasn't very clear cut on the miracles, but what I'm really from. First one would be the twin miracle, where Buddha returned to his father's kingdom and uncertainty still existed about whether Gautama, am I saying that right? Gautama Buddha was really enlightened or not. In response, Buddha allegedly displayed the Yamaka Patiharya. Am I saying all this right? Okay. I just want to pronounce things first. Or which is nicknamed the twin miracle, called so because of its simultaneous production of apparently contradictory phenomena. In this case, fire and water. It was something where fire would envelop the upper half of his body and water would cover the lower half of his body, and it would rotate from to that or to halves of his body. Another is taming the elephant. Another is the clean water, basically a story about him getting one of his servants to go and fetch some water, and people didn't want to get the water because the well was dirty, so Buddha went and cleaned the well himself. Another power over nature, where it sounds something similar to Moses, where there was a flood and he made the waters part within the flood. And the miraculous powers, where is it? Where the Majjhima Nikaya states that the Buddha had more superpowers than any other being, including being able to walk on water, multiply it to 1 million, and then return, travel through space. He can make himself as big as a giant, and then as small as an ant, walk through mountains, dive in and out of the earth, travel to the heavens to school the gods, and return to earth.
Anyone, you want to add more? Want to add more? Let me ask you, have you ever experienced any miracle in your life? Any one of you? Have you experienced any miracle? Yes. Can you share if you like?
Well, one time I prayed at night and the next day lightning struck a big tree in my yard.
Anyone? You want to share? I think some or most of us experience some kind of miracles in our life, right? And yes, this is deal with religion, with the faith, spiritual life, and so forth. In my life, last few years, I went to pray for one of my followers. He's Mr. 50. Somehow he got a shock and went to coma, and the two doctors, they declared that his brain was dead, and they have the documents, in the hospital before that kind of declaration. The doctor need to show to the family members. So we went there, prayed for him. We decide some special sutra, what we call also Bodhisattva Sutra. In Vietnamese we call Kinh. And with 7 days of praying, he came back alive. Now he's still alive. This is the first miracle that I ever experienced, that I did for other people. And when I visited him and he told me that, I rescued him, I said, no, that's Buddha power, not me. Anyway, so most of us experience some kind of miracle in our life. Let me ask you, who feel that you are a more spiritual person here?
I can tell if you said A or most. I was just going to say A.
Yeah.
I think I'm spiritual.
How? How you feel that you're more spiritual person?
I just feel like I believe in like a higher power.
You too, right? How? You had any experience with miracle before?
Yeah, and I think that for me, spirituality is lots of different layers. In that there's a lot of, that everything has energy to it, and I think that if you put good energy out there, that like seems to follow like. If you put the good energy out there, you seem to receive that good energy.
Okay. So does it depend until you experience this kind of, miracle or spirituality, you could recognize as not, otherwise it's not easy to use the brain to analyze, right? Right. I just mentioned about the Buddha miracle. So how could he fly up? That walk on the water. Let me see. This is the place here. Here is the first miracle. He took 7 steps right after he was born. There's a miracle there. And right after his enlightenment, he sat there and somehow it was raining. So a big snake, we call Naira, he covered the Buddha. But for us, some of us, like when we see the snake, we scared of that, right? Scared of that, right? There's some Buddha miracle. In one summer, he went to the heaven to give a teaching there. And yeah, that's the stairway from the heaven down to the earth. This in both in Mahayana and Theravada tradition mentioned all that. And this is what we call twins miracles. So he flew up to the air, and on the top he admit the fire, bottom he admit the water. And that's what here. Yeah, and right here. Okay, and this the miracle that he used compassionate mind to tame the elephants. Remember, we talked about today. Devadatta. Who does Devadatta here? Okay, we talked about that. And he went to the heaven to give a teaching to his mother too. So that's a miracle. Okay, so let's move on to number 3. The two form. Number 3. Who does number 3? Yeah, please. For Buddha foremost, two foremost.
Yes. So the names are Sariputta and Moggallana. And they were actually really good friends because they were born, I think, in the same neighborhood or really close by at the same time. And they actually followed the teachings of Sanjaya, which was considered Buddha's rival. And they, I think it was Sariputta who first went to a teaching of the Buddha and found some sort of, not enlightenment, but some sort of truth or something. And ended up convincing Moggallana as well to leave Sanjaya and go study under the Buddha. And what else happened? Then the rest of the reading was about how they became the top 2 disciples because Sariputta became kind of the master of the Dhamma, the teachings of the Buddha, and Moggallana became master of psychic powers. I think the word is I don't remember the terminology, but and then there were some interesting anecdotes about both miracles that they did for good instead of evil, and their deaths as well.
If you're Vietnamese, if you're Buddhist, Vietnamese Buddhist, you know this word, right? Vu Lan, right? Who know Vu Lan? Vu Lan? What's it mean? You know? Have you attended that?
Yeah,
You know what's it mean?
I don't know what it means.
You know what's it mean?
I don't know how to
It's
say
the
it.
loss, it's playful, and I think it's the day that when you kind of like when you lost one of your parents or both of your parents passed away. Another tradition is like if both of your parents passed away, I think you wear you wear white flower.
Oh, that's different. A little bit,
Something like
but originally it came from him. Because he has psychic power, he went out to search for his deceased mother, the one who was born as hungry wolves. So he offered food for her to eat, but she could not consume because of her karma. The food became cold, it defied cold. And so he went back to ask for help from Buddha. So Buddha told him that you need to offer food and so forth to ask the Holy Sangha, Holy Monks, to pray for your mom. And he did that. So his mom was born in the heaven. That's why we have Vu Lan, what we call the Lambama Festival of Parent Appreciation Day. Usually it's in the outburst, late outburst, because that's what he was about. He's the foremost in psychic power. Yeah. And one day he wanted to test out the Buddha power. So he flew far, far away, but he still heard Buddha's sound. And somehow he flew to another Buddha land. And somehow he landed on the bowl of that Buddha. And the disciple of that Buddha say, "Oh, Buddha, somehow some creatures, it look like who it is. Somehow that creature walk around the top of your bowl." So, but that Buddha say, "No, don't despair him. He is the foremost disciple of the Buddha." So that Buddha told him, "Okay, now manifest yourself, ask big as us because at that place, you can say the Buddha and the modern people over there, they have bigger body than human beings here. So he manifests himself and asks him what it's about. So this Buddha said, oh, you arrive this Buddha land far thousand miles or million miles away from your land because of the Buddha power. So he tried. So after that, he went back to see the second Buddha. So that's the legend. Whether you believe or not, that's the legend too. So that's explain how powerful he is. He has that type of power. And Shaktiputra, he famous in what he calls wisdom. And most of the sutra, whether it's Mahayana or the Rava Sutra, in Sanskrit or Pali, you come across his name. Most time he asks whether to give a lecture, to give teaching, or even the Buddha appoint him to give the teaching on his behalf too. So that's our two forms. Disciple is a lot of story about it. Let's move on. Thank you. Let's go on to number 4. Who does number 4? Yes, can you do number 4, please? Go ahead. What's number 4 about?
Number 4 is pretty much about like the most prominent disciples.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Monastic disciples of the Buddha. And pretty much there was initially 10. And these people later formed like Siddhartha and so on and so forth. And so some of the people, including the 2 initial ones, were Mahaksatya, Subhuti, Purna, Mitranya Putra, Katyavana, Anirdua, Upali, Raula, and Ananda.
Can you spell? Can you give them one example? One story from them.
Ananda was he listened to the Buddha's teachings, and he was the cousin of the Buddha.
Yeah.
Ananda means great delight. He took care of the Buddha for 25 years until the Buddha died. And the sutras were compiled based on his memory.
Let me tell you about this monk, Anuruddha. He was a prince like the Buddha too. And of course, when the Buddha went back to his palace, and many people in the palace to follow him to become monks. And so this one, Anuruddha, he was a prince. So at first, when he became monk, somehow he lazy. He didn't do much. He didn't do meditation much. So one day, when the Buddha was lecturing, he scolded him. You are a prince. How could you be so lazy? Oh, he's so embarrassed on you. What happened? He sat for 7 days straight without sleeping until the point that he was blind. But what happened after that? Even he's blind, but he get what they call the second power. What they call the sight, the heavenly sight. It means he could see through things. He could see far thousand miles, 100,000 miles with his second power. Even he's blind. What do you think? When people blind, can they see?
No.
Can they see?
Was he permanently blind?
Yeah. Can they see?
No.
You sure?
Well, it depends what you mean by see. Like, see you and me, no, but they can see something different.
You know that our organs, the eyes, the ears, the nose, and so forth, is like a window. We know, right? The eye is the window of the soul, right? Right? But if someone lost their sight, but still they can see. They may see through their ears, through their sensation, through their feeling. That's why they touch, right? And they're more sensitive than us. So that means when someone blind, when someone could not hear, it doesn't mean that they could not see. They see in a different way. Make sense? So that's why for that monks, even he's blind, he's attained due to what they call the second power of his sight, and could see with his this heavenly eyes, 4,000 and 100,000 miles away. That's what one of the story about them. Okay, well, there's a lot of story about them. Let's just move on. Okay, number 5. What is yes? What's number 5 about?
Describe the most prominent lay supporters of
Yes.
Buddha. It began when the nomadic community of the Buddhist people were traveling around, but then they had to seek refuge from the weather because of the monsoon season. So over time, they eventually just became to where they stopped traveling, and they wanted to establish a settled community. And the lay supporters are the people that would help to provide like land and shelter, any sort of like materialistic sort of needs that they would have had to develop temples or even being fed. And now, even today, still in Thailand, they have what's called the daily alms, where they are still offering food to the monks as a ritual for like a communion.
Yeah, when we go to that part, we see here. Yeah. Anyway, see like this bridge here. You see the lay people, they offer the food to the monks, and later on we will study the differences between the Theravada and Mahayana, or the southern and the northern, or the conservative and the liberal. You say that. So the southern somehow more conservative. So they follow the old tradition that the Buddha carry the bowl to ask what they call alms, to ask for food, and they're not supposed to cook at the temple. But we is different, and we cook at the temple and we eat at the temple. We don't go out there for food, especially in this country. I used to tell a story. There's one American monk. He followed that Theravada traditions. One day at noon time, it's many years ago, probably more than 10 years ago. He stopped by my temple and he told his story. So one day he went to San Francisco airport and hold a bowl and stood there. So people just passed by him and no one dropped him anything in the bowl. So he started to fast on that day because people didn't know about this tradition. But have you been in Thailand, Sri Lanka, in Southeast Asia? Or you were there? Have you seen the monk carry the bowl around? It's too cold. In Nepal, it's too cold. You seen the monk carry the bowl around? Okay. Yeah. Have you ever offered any food to them?
No.
No. You seen them in here?
Well, people put money in there.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. We actually, the monk is supposed to receive the food in the bowl, not the money. Yeah. All right, so that's that tradition there. And remember, Sanskrit has some kind of Hindu influences, right? Remember when the Buddha, when he was a prince, he saw that Hindu monk, the one who carried the bowl and walked on the street. Then he followed that too. He used that. That kind of tradition, that's the respectful traditions. But in the West, and even now, when we beg a Buddhist, like we got beggars, just different story from the past. Because someone that give up everything, every material life, in order to seek for spiritual life, that is more respectful in that traditions. So you see the monk go around your town. Okay, anyway, so we talk about that later on more. How about this? Let me stop here for a while. Can you go up there and write your number on number 3? Otherwise, after we done, we need to go. Can you write from 1 to, I think 1 to 10? Yeah. And can you go up and pick up the number? I can hold the number 3 for you. Okay, yeah, number 3 here. Yeah, please. We have 10 number. Oh, can you spread out, please? Can you spread out? Yeah, spread out. Can you spread out so that people can write? Yeah, 1, 2, 5. 1, 5, and 5. Can you spread out? One, can write down number 1, 5. Spread out. Yes, spread out. Yes. Yeah, go. Yeah, pick up the number that you like to work on. Okay. That's good. Yeah, bigger. Yeah. Alright, go ahead. You pick your number now. Pick your number.
We're going to be practicing here next week.
Oh, yeah.
Before the
We
Super
have
Bowl.
2,
Yeah.
3, and 2, 3, and 5. If you can win.
Yeah, they're going to be practicing on campus next week.
For the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Okay, number we did number 5. How about number 6? What is number 6? Yes, please. What's about who are the royal supporters of the Buddha?
So I found the 4 kings as Visara, Asnadi, Pajotra, and Udana.
Yeah.
And the way that they contributed in supporting the spread and growth of Buddhism was by offering land for the Buddha and the Sangha to stay, and for people to come and listen to the Dhamma. And some even arrange for like a personal physician to attend to their medical needs. And then they also helped build monasteries.
Thank you. Anyone? Only you? Only you, sis? Okay. Let me mention about this one here. Here's a name. Here's name a lady here. What do you call Anathapindika? This is a story about him. This is an interesting story. That he want to buy a land for the Buddha and this Sangha, that's mean monks and non to stay. So he went to see a land, but he could not find. But later on he encountered one beautiful land that belonged to a local prince. And so he approached to the local prince and say, I want to buy this land to offer to the Buddha. And so the prince said, well, it's my land. And well, if you lie down the ground with your gold, I will sell to you. My gold, lie down the gold, you know. And he said, okay. So he went back and took his gold to that place and lied out. The gold like you lied out the brick. And the prince so amazed. So he said, wow, how could you pay for this land with this gold? I'm kidding. And so this lady man said, no, since you are a prince and you're going to be a king, whichever thing you say, you have to keep your promise. And so later on he said, okay, I offer the tree and you buy the land. So that's why she's so sincere. And most of them, especially laymen and lay supporter and so forth, they so sincere to support the Buddha and this Sangha before. Alright, how about number, is that number 7, right? Yes, what's number 7 about?
6.
Oh, we have number 6, right?
Now you're on 7.
Huh?
Now you're on 7.
Yeah, the most, okay, we have many, but yeah, royal. Okay, number 7, the soul opponents Buddha. Yes, who is that?
Devadatta.
Yes. Okay, what's about him?
So he was jealous of the Buddha,
Okay.
and so he wanted to take over his community. So he tried to kill him like 3 times, but he didn't. And from his attempts to kill the Buddha, he got sick.
That's all? Anyone who does the same with the origin?
Devadatta,
Yes.
he had 3 attempts to kill the Buddha, in which the first attempt, he conspired with a prince to kill the prince's dad, and who was a supporter of Buddha, and take over the throne. And then Devadatta himself was in charge of killing Buddha, and he hired mercenaries to go assassinate Buddha, but when the mercenaries approached him, instead they became his followers. So the first attempt failed. The second attempt, he climbed some kind of slope where Buddha was walking, and he tried to throw a huge rock in order to kill Buddha. But the rock hit another rock, and it caused a splinter to hit the Buddha's foot, and he started bleeding. So that attempt failed too. And then the third attempt was, he got an elephant drunk, a man killing an elephant, and when the elephant saw the Buddha, it charged towards him. But as it started charging, it stopped as it reached the Buddha, because the Buddha was so kind and passionate, he released this sort of aura to stop the elephant and tame it.
So, you know, actually he's only opponents of the Buddha in his lifetime. And most of all, most of the king, the queen's officers, and so forth during his lifetime, they support him really because of his virtue. And the Devadatta is Buddha cousins. Yeah, you told the story there. And in Christian tradition, right, we have Judah, right? But for Buddha, probably he's the only one. And although, of course, because of jealousy, like the Brahmin, he encouraged one lady who pretend to be pregnant. You know that story, right? So they encouraged her to accuse him for such misconduct. So she went in and out in monastery later. So probably later on, she pretended to be pregnant, but somehow she puts a rope around with something in her belly, and a god came down and took the rope down, and we were recognized as later on the Brahmin killed her. But anyway, Devadatta is all the most opponents of Buddha. All right, number 8. Describe the first Buddhist nun in the Buddhist community. Who number? Yes. Yes, please.
So Mahapajapati was Queen Maya's sister, who was raising Siddhartha, and then he had his enlightenment, and then he had his 5 aesthetics, and then he started the Sangha, which was the Buddhist monk community, but only males were allowed to be in. And so Mahapajapati was like, hey, I want to be a part of this because, you know, I raised you, and Buddha denied her 3 times. And so she was so determined to be a part of it that she shaved her head and put on some yellow robes and decided to walk in the footsteps of Buddha to follow him. And while she was walking, she gathered like many women followers. So going back to what somebody said earlier about Ananda, Ananda is Buddha's cousin, which happens to be the biological son of Mahapajapati. So he went on his mother's behalf to his stepbrother, cousin, who is Buddha, and was like, hey, remember our mom like loved you like you were her own, and you know, you should look at all the devotion that she gave to you growing up and gave you this wonderful childhood when you were Siddhartha. Oh, don't you remember when? So he was like, yeah, she did actually do all those things, and I kind of have a debt to her, so I need to pay that back. But on these 8 contingencies that she has to follow all these things, and to sum up those 8 rules, it's pretty much that nuns can't question or offer advice to or do anything that would deter from the monks, because the monks technically outrank them and nuns are subordinate to monks. Kind of sums up all 8 rules, right? Okay, cool. And then, and so despite all that though, she became like the first ordained nun and was the first enlightened female, and therefore started the gateway, if you will, for other Buddhist nuns to enter into the Sangha.
Last Saturday, we had big woman march, right? Did you guys join with us? Here in Houston? Where?
Oh, well, my mom went to the Capitol.
Capital?
I was at work. She went.
Where? In Washington DC?
No, sorry, to Austin.
There was a big march in Austin.
In where? Boston?
Austin.
Austin.
The
Okay.
Texas
Big?
Capitol.
Oh no, huge.
Yeah, there was a large.
Wow. Alright, many people ask me about this question. Why did the Buddha reject or require us 3 times at the beginning? Why? Because he resonated with woman? What do you think?
I think he's just testing her.
Huh?
Testing her.
Huh?
Testing her. Like,
No,
See,
no,
I read it in an outside source
Yeah,
that
what's
it
about?
was
Why?
because there was already some acknowledgement that even when the man leaves, it kind of disrupts the family, and so to ask a woman to leave and then further disrupt the family life and to give all of it up in order to be an enlightened person, he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to ask that of women.
Plus, the social stigma,
Yeah.
the taboo in the past,
Yeah,
right?
the second thing was
1,000
living
years.
together.
1,000 years in the East and in the West too, right? It's not easy for women to go out. So the lady's job is to stay back and take care of the children. So that's why somehow he really reluctant to accept that, but later on, because Ananda, he asked Buddha, in the past, have the 4 types of disciple, monk, nun, layman, lay female. So that's why he accepted that. The reason why he became because of the traditions. Alright, so we stop here and we talk on number 9 and number 10 on Thursday. Alright, thank you. So if you have a question, let me know and we'll work on your question. Thank you.